How to get and use a Japan IC card should be an essential part of your Japan pre-travel checklist, as you will need it to ride all forms of public transportation. However, the continual increase in Japan tourism numbers have also driven the search for Japan IC card alternatives, as it is often not surprising to hear that the most popular Japan IC cards, such as the Suica or Pasmo, are sold out yet again. And there are actually plenty of alternatives, including some digital ones, but there is one issue. One issue that I have heard again and again and again from the people in my comment section. Yes, I am talking about the severe lack of options for Android users. You see, a lot of the information that you'll find in videos online, some of which are actually my videos, do address Japan IC card alternatives. However, most of the alternatives are tailored for iOS/iPhone users. And so if you're an Android user, well then good news, this video is for you, as I'm going to be covering all the Japan IC card alternatives, some of which are existing options and some which are fairly new developments, specifically for the Android users, because it's about time. But before we get into it, hi, I'm Steve from the Fat Life Project. Welcome back to my channel, which is full of travel guides just like the one you're watching now to help you navigate your way for the first time in cities around the world. If that is your vibe, don't forget to subscribe so that we can go on more fat travel adventures together. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. The first and perhaps most important update is that the East Japan Railway Corporation, aka JR East, has announced the end of the Suica IC card shortage issue, which, for those who don't know, back in 2023, a global semiconductor shortage coupled with the increase in Japan tourism numbers, especially in Tokyo, caused this card to be sold out everywhere. This announcement was made on the 1st of March 2025. Couple this with the launch of the Welcome Suica app for iOS users about a week after, means that the chances of an Android user getting your hands on a physical IC card to be quite probable. But where can I purchase these cards, I hear you say? You will be able to purchase a Suica card at the arrival halls of both Narita and Haneda International Airports, as well as pretty much any of the ticket machines at major subway stations. If your preference is for the Welcome Suica instead, they essentially do the same thing. The only major difference that you need to be aware of is that the standard Suica is reusable, whereas the Welcome Suica only has a validity of 28 days. Well then, you can also get your hands on a Welcome Suica, which can be purchased at any JR East travel service centers that you will again find at the arrival halls of both Haneda and Narita International Airports, as well as vending machines that look like this at Narita Airport and Terminal 3 of Haneda Station. You will also find them at the JR East travel service centers throughout the city in places including Tokyo, Ikebukuro, Ueno, Shibuya, and Shinagawa. But if you're traveling during peak season or traveling with a large group of people and are concerned that you may not be able to get your hands on a Suica card, did you know that you can secure one ahead of time now? You can actually pre-purchase a Suica IC card ready for your pickup upon arrival at Haneda Airport via Klook. Link is in my description box if you're interested. But if you're new to my channel or traveling to Japan for the first time, you might be wondering at this stage, Steve, you said you were going to talk about Japan IC cards. Why are you now talking about Suica cards? Like, what are you going on about? Well, let me explain. You see, each area in Japan actually uses a different Japan IC card, as you can see from this diagram. However, the Suica, Welcome Suica, and Pasmo get most talked about because they're the cards that you are issued if you arrive in Tokyo, Japan, aka the city that everybody visits when they say they're going to Japan. In fact, most of the news coverage surrounding Japan IC card shortages back in 2023 were only for the Suica and Pasmo IC cards. But what many may not know is that these Japan IC cards can be used interchangeably in any city across Japan. Like for example, if you landed in Osaka first instead of Tokyo, you would get your hands on an ICOCA card, and that ICOCA card can be then used in place of a Suica, Welcome Suica, or Pasmo, and vice versa. But let's say you only plan to be in Tokyo and do not plan to make any intercity trips, and still for some reason can't get your hands on a Suica, Welcome Suica, or Pasmo IC card. Well then, did you know there is actually a fourth option? There is actually a lesser known IC card that you can actually get your hands on in Tokyo, and that is the TOICA card, which is issued by JR Central, and you can get your hands on this card at the Tokyo station. As the TOICA card is within the Japan IC card network, there is virtually no no difference between the TOICA card and the Suica, Welcome Suica or Pasmo. It is the same thing. But before we get into the fourth option, which to me is the absolute game changer as far as Japan travel is concerned, I also want to quickly cover the IC card cost because I know I will inevitably get asked in the comment section. The three cards that I mentioned here will all require a 500 yen card deposit, which is refundable towards the end of your trip if you return said card to its ticketing office. And that is the JR East ticket office for the Suica, the JR Central ticket office for the TOICA, and the Pasmo designated counters for the Pasmo IC card. However, if that process is just way too much for you, I mean, I get it, 500 yen is just 350 US. Well, did you know that the Suica or Pasmo or indeed any Japan IC cards are valid for up to 10 years after its last top-up date? Like say for example, if you topped up your card on the 6th of May 2025, the card balance will be valid for up to the 6th of May 2035. But I really wanted to do this video because I wanted to talk about this absolute game changer for not just Android users but also just everybody, because it is about time. And indeed, if all this previous talk on the Japan IC cards is starting to sound like it's a bit much, well then, you'll be glad to know that Japan is gradually embracing credit card touch payments for public transport. In fact, as you can see here, as of early 2025, approximately 124 public transport operators across 32 of Japan's 47 prefectures have implemented tap-to-ride systems compatible with major credit cards, aka the Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and many more. The expansion of the contactless payments is a reflection of Japan's efforts to modernize its transit systems and enhance the convenience of both residents and foreign visitors, as it will officially eliminate the need for any IC cards. It is, however, worth noting that as of the writing of this video, pilot programs are underway in areas like the Toei subway and the Keikyu lines. Tokyo's complex rail systems have still been a little slow on the uptake. Additionally, not every subway route or bus line accepts MasterCard. A useful resource to have handy on your phone would be this website here. I recommend saving it on your phone, as this website shows you all the places that do accept credit cards and also specifically what credit cards are accepted. Yes, it is in Japanese, but just use your browser's translate function to see the info. Like for example, here you can see that the Toei and Keikyu lines are undergoing demonstration experiment stages, which most probably means that there will be a gate or two with the credit card tap payment facility available. And they will look like this. Additionally, cities such as Osaka, as you can see here, have completely embraced the credit card touch payment systems, meaning that if you're in Osaka, you do not even need to get an IC card. Whilst this is fantastic and a big leap forward for Japan, I wish to remind you that your credit card will still charge you an overseas transaction fee for every single transaction. So it's probably worthwhile working out what your overseas transaction charges are before you go to Japan so that you can decide for yourself if you still should be getting a Japan IC card. And yes, a potential workaround this would be credit cards that do not charge an overseas transaction fee, or alternatively cards such as Revolut or Wise that allows you to pre-convert your own local currency into yen before your trip so that you can potentially save on transaction charges. Oh, and by the way, all the things that I've mentioned here will allow you to take public transport within cities in Japan. However, if you're planning to travel into cities, like for example from Tokyo to Osaka, Osaka to Kyoto, etc., you will need to take a Shinkansen, aka a bullet train. If you're wondering how to do that, well, I've previously done a video highlighting absolutely everything you need to know in order to be able to ride the Shinkansens like a pro. I've linked that video at the end of this video so that you can go ahead and watch that next. Also included at the end of this video is my first timer's guide to Japan, which includes everything else you probably want to know before your first time in Japan, such as entry requirements. Oh, and also if you're planning to head to Tokyo or Osaka, you may find my travel cheat sheets for these cities helpful. They contain everything from a pre-travel checklist, where to stay, discount codes, all the way to absolutely everything you need to see, eat, try, and do in these cities. I've placed the download links for them in my description box in case you want to get your hands on them. I do hope that you found value in this video, and if you have, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all the good things that you know will appease those holy YouTube algorithm gods, but much more importantly will just make my day as a content creator. In particular, feel free to leave me a comment, as I do love hearing from you. And if you got to this point of the video, I want to thank you so much for watching. I really do mean it when I say it means absolutely everything. I do hope that you have a fantastic day ahead, or that you've already had a good day. As always, I will see you real soon in the next video. Ciao! Are the most popular ones because they are the cards that get